and welcome back to another episode of Come Over for Dinner. I'm Bess Hawthorne, and I'm so excited you're joining me today. Today, I am joined by Lizze Miller. She is actually a former resident of Moscow, Idaho, but she is currently in central Iowa in Des Moines.
No S's.
No S's anywhere. Des
Nope.
Moines.
Yeah, there you go.
She's in Des Moines, Iowa with her husband of 11 years, Chris. He is currently in surgery residency. He has been in medical school, obviously, for a while. And so they have moved quite a few times and in different stages of schooling. And so she is going to talk to us about diving into church hospitality when you're new and lots of other fun things too. So I am very much looking forward to hearing all of her tips. She is a mom as well. They have 5 children ranging in age from 8 down to 1. She's a busy woman. Welcome, Lizze.
Thanks so much. It's been so fun to chat, and I'm looking forward to this.
Well, I am too. And another thing she mentioned to me before we started is that she has a very fun theory on food. And I was intrigued. Theory of food, but she's going to talk about how to make a well-balanced dish and menu and really be able to prepare well for when company is coming over. And her friends actually think that she's the best at cakes, which really intrigues me because I am all about the desserts. So I'm glad she has one prepared for us.
It's my favorite. I make it every May.
Oh, so fun. So jump in and tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay. I think you covered most of it. I grew up loving to cook with my mom. She had to ration me on the spice cabinet. I was always wanting to put in way too many spices. And she was always great about just having all the ingredients I could to make and create. And I helped her with CareNet events and grew up just diving in on all of that. She was always very hospitable. So I just grew up loving hospitality, being involved with it. Chris was always involved in the events too. So that's where we kind of got to know each other. And we even talked as we were courting about we want to make hospitality and building up the kingdom just a part of what we do. So
yeah. Tell me what a CareNet event is. What is CareNet?
CareNet of the Palouse, the Crisis Pregnancy Center there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So helping with their different events and things like that and catering some for those. And yeah.
Wonderful. So your mom, she graduated from the University of Idaho with a home economics degree, didn't she?
Yeah.
So
back when
I'm
they
sure
made their placemats and planned out the meals and all of that and had planned out suppers that they actually prepared for each other. Her degree was in planning events and meals and home stuff.
That is interesting because I didn't even know that was a degree. Do they still have that degree today?
It's called something else now.
Maybe it's more like hospitality.
Home science or something like that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I bet she was able to pull that in when raising you and just have that foundation for how to teach you next or how to train her daughters or I guess how many were in your family, by the way?
I'm 4th of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was able to use
writing a timeline down is what you do.
That was her number one advice.
You got to write your timeline down for when you're making what and what's happening and what's being served. And
yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. So you currently live in Iowa, but you have moved 7 times since your husband was in college or since he started down
I think it's hard to keep track of. It's about there. Yeah. So different rotations in medical school. I think it was 5 places 1 year. And then where we ended up in the other years. So about 7 different places in the last 3 years.
Wow. And I guess a lot of that has to do with where you're getting a position in a hospital. What is that called again? Why am I blanking?
Well, it's the different rotations they do before they graduate. Mm-hmm. And then you get assigned to a residency, and that's where you move to work for your first 3 to 5 years as a doctor underneath other doctors.
And that's where you are right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So you're settled for a little bit anyway
until
he finishes residency.
Yeah. We're looking forward to it. We've been loving it here.
So tell me what that's like. That would be very daunting for a lot of people to move that many times and to be a stranger that many
Yeah.
times and to feel like you know no one.
Yeah.
How did you
I think,
approach that?
again, I have to reference my mom. They were in the Navy and moved 18 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I thought was really impressive until I realized that they had somebody doing the moving. The Navy paid for them to
Oh,
have
wow.
movers.
That
I was
would be
like, hey,
easy.
that
And
was
you're
a lot
thinking,
luckier.
I never had that.
No, I did it. I lived the day I got to throw away my cardboard boxes was a real treat.
They were probably pretty tattered,
Yeah, they were.
pretty
Yep.
worn.
They were very worn out. And I was like, I get to finally throw these away. Anyway, so yeah, they moved 18 times in the military. And I think that's probably also why they were good at just jumping in on hospitality. I have a couple of like rules of thumb to keep in mind when you're diving in and you're new, or even like if you're just needing to get more involved, perhaps if you're not as new in your community. But one thing I had in mind when we came into a new church was like, if my husband was a deacon or an elder here, what would I be doing? And that helped me think more on the lines of serving, or what can I do to be involved with or help with, or who's new that I can reach out to, and not making it about like, oh, I'm the new one here, help serve me, right? So that was a really helpful just frame of mind for me, and that helped me get involved in other different things. One of my favorite stories with that was when we were in the CRC church in Wenatchee. I noticed the family next to us was packing up during their passing of the peace. They did passing of the peace there. I was like, wait, hi, how's it going? Welcome. Are you guys new? We have communion and coffee time after this, so you should stick around. And how about have pizza with us after dinner afterwards? And they later joined the church. They had just been checking it out because they had heard about CRC churches from Cross Politic, but they later joined the church and had their kids baptized. And they remembered that first time when somebody reached out to them. And that's always stuck with me of like, if you can look up from the bulletin, you're not glued to it, you're no longer new. If you can look
Right.
up and see who else is glued to their bulletin, then go and introduce yourself to them afterwards.
That is a wonderful mindset and attitude because as new as you are, or as new as you feel, say you're there a few months, anyone coming in is newer than you. And
Yes.
so you're the old guy, even if it's just you're a few months in.
Yeah.
If there's somebody who just walked in, they're going to feel
Mm-hmm.
even more lost than you. And
Right.
how important is it for someone to greet them and make them feel like they're welcome
Comfortable.
there and
Yes.
comfortable, and that someone acknowledges that who they are and
Right. And
asks something about their family?
and if you're not exactly like a social butterfly, and I never was growing up, but I love being in the background. But if you even think of that as like, my job here is to go and make somebody else feel comfortable.
It's
Like,
not about you.
right.
It's not about me.
You don't have to be the social person or the extrovert who gets fed off of that. If you're more of the introvert type, then just try to thinking of it as like, well, who can I look for to like help them plug in, and thinking of it like that.
Yeah. And it's okay to recognize or to even understand you are putting yourself out for someone.
Mm-hmm.
There are personalities that they are very talkative and just feed off of conversation
Yeah.
and love being in the middle of the party. They're the life of the party. But there are a lot of people, it is a huge effort. And
Yes.
again, that's where you have to recognize that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to push past it. You still
Yeah.
have to put yourself out there, put yourself out for someone else.
Don't think about like trying to be the social butterfly like the other person is.
Right. Just be
If that's
kind.
not your comfort zone, look
Hmm.
just for ways to make somebody else feel
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah. A simple conversation is very easy to do. I mean, you can just greet
And
someone.
it's
Good
learnable,
morning. We're so
right?
glad you're here. Are
It's
you
a skill
new?
set you can learn too.
Yeah. Are you new to the community? I mean, if you just have a few things to say, I know I've greeted somebody and just started a conversation about, well, we're new here. We moved about 4 years ago. Are you new
Mm-hmm.
here too? Or have you lived here your whole life? And
Yeah.
it's nobody cares that you introduce it that way because it is so true. I mean, again, we've only been here about 4 years. And so I have no idea who's been here for 30 years and who's been
Right.
here for 3 months.
And on that
And
note, nobody cares if you have to ask their name a third time.
no,
They probably need to ask your name a fourth time
I
too.
give
So
people warnings like I'm
yeah,
not good with names. I will recognize
yeah.
your face. I definitely will remember that I've met you or seen you
Uh-huh.
at names. And then I also give them the out too because I recognize you are meeting a bunch of people. You do not even have to remember who I
Right.
am. We can still
Yeah.
greet each other the next time.
Yeah, exactly. My mom's always very good at just asking people. I think I've learned from her on that. The gal I got involved with for cookbook club, we met at a Chick-fil-A. It's very, very
That's a good meeting
very
spot.
in keeping for us. It was
Which,
actually
by
the
the
second
way,
Chick-fil-A we went to because
I have to interject. Did
yeah,
you
what?
know that Moscow is building a Chick-fil-A?
Well, they were and then they weren't. And now they are again.
Apparently they are
Okay.
again because there's signs up.
Good luck
So
to you. I hope
and
it works out.
construction is happening. There is a campus one, and my son and I have found that a couple of times, but it's very limited. And
Okay.
it's hard to know where to park and
Yeah.
walk and all that. So
Yeah.
a drive through Chick-fil-A or one that you can just jaunt to anytime. I'm
Well,
very
hopefully they have a
excited.
play place because that would be really sweet.
Oh, I bet they will because I think it's a full size. But anyway,
Okay.
carry on. You met it at
So
Chick-fil-A.
this
Good
was the second
choices.
Chick-fil-A we went to for my son's birthday. The first one didn't have a play place. So we made it to the second one. That just reminds me how much of a God thing this was. We sit next to Rachel and she's got 4 kids with her and she's pregnant. And I'm more of a like put my head down kind of person. And I was like, oh yeah, we'll just let her be. But my mom's not. My mom is like, hey, you're pregnant. Lizzie just had a baby. And she gets to talking with Rachel and she's like, Lizzie, come over here and talk. And we
She's
found out,
forcing you into the
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, we found out like 10, 15 minutes in the conversation that we are actually like 2 streets away from each other. And this place is 17 minutes from our house. So we don't have one that's close to us in Des Moines. And we realized we were just 2 streets away from each other. So she's
That's
become a
fun.
great friend. And the next day she texted me, it's like, hey, random question, but I've got a cookbook club tomorrow. Would you be interested? And mom and I were like, yes. I've always loved looking through cookbooks, and that just sounded like a lot of fun. So I'm their Presbyterian friend who shows up and enjoys when I can, and that's been a lot of fun to get
So
to be
is it a
involved
group
with.
of moms that get together once a month, or how does the cookbook
Once
club work?
once a quarter, different gals just volunteer to host. And if you're hosting, you get to pick the cookbook or book resource. They'd like to make it generally accessible, like you don't have to go buy a cookbook. So if you get it at the library or if there's a blog associated with it, that's even better. So
And you
yeah,
cook from
you get
that
pick a
person's
recipe.
cookbook?
Everybody brings a recipe from that resource, and then they all share it.
And do you somehow break up the categories or everybody's not picking from the dessert category?
Yeah, but there's like a Facebook group, and a week out from the event, the hostess asks, like, just so we know if we've got kind of a spread, could you please post what
What you're
comment?
bringing,
Yeah, what you're bringing, and
or
then
what
she tries to
category at
pick
least?
something that's like on the low side in the categories, and it
Oh,
works out.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that sounds really fun. And that
yeah.
would give you a good sampling to see if that's a cookbook you'd want to invest in.
Yeah, and even just perusing it online or from the library too. It's been fun that way. You stand around and introduce yourself and tell people what dish you brought, and then go through like a buffet. When I hosted in July, and I hosted the Come Over for Dinner, I wanted to share this podcast with everyone. We shook it up, and it was really delightful. We had people serve their item like it was a course.
I see what
So
you're saying. So you almost had like a 5 course meal where everybody just ate,
it
say,
was
an
like
appetizer
eight courses.
first or a
Yes.
salad
Uh-huh.
first
And that
and
lady
talked
got to
about it.
introduce it. And then she brought it around to everybody and served it. And it was just really delightful. And we got to showcase the thing. And we all got to like talk about it, whether the chickpeas were the right thing in this salad or whatever. So it was just a lot of fun to do that. And then I also did name cards, as I grew up with my mom doing name cards and cloth napkins and chargers. So that
So
was
your
how
table was
yeah.
beautiful.
It was so fun to get to have an excuse to make it pretty for a lot of lazies because that's not a way I normally do hospitality these days.
Well, a
Um,
1 to 8 year old are not going to appreciate it as much as
no,
a table full of
no,
ladies.
the chargers like, what's this for?
Right.
um,
Something to throw at each other. It looks like a
yes,
frisbee.
yeah, exactly. But I put on their name card one of your questions from the
Oh,
podcast,
so
and
then
that
they could
was
give their answers.
yes. And that was
That's
such
a
a
fun
fun, like,
time.
icebreaker. It was a fun thing to, like, just clue off some conversation that also involved the resource that we were working with instead of just random conversation. And that led us into talking about hospitality. And that was kind of a new concept for a lot of the ladies to even consider, was just the idea of hospitality and how to do that. So that was a really fun night.
That's encouraging, especially I think a lot of ladies have not thought through the difference between hospitality and entertaining. And obviously, you can create a beautiful meal or a beautiful table and it looks like entertaining. And sometimes we are hosting a party, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking through everyday hospitality, it is a different challenge than just having
Yeah.
friends over and having a fun party. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a fun conversation to have.
Or even just having people over for dinner. There were several gals there who were like,
I've
haven't
never
gotten into
done
the habit
this.
of that.
Yeah, it's a foreign concept to a lot of people. And I think part of it is maybe the culture where they are, the town or the church or whatever. But also, I know for me, years ago, a lot of it was pride, thinking my house isn't nice enough, or I can't invite these people over. They have a mansion. My house
Oh,
is dinged up with five kids that I allowed to ride ripsticks through the house. What was I thinking? Or the boys wrestled and they, banged each other's heads in the walls, and now there's a dent we need to fix. And anyway, just thinking too much of myself
yep.
and what I was
I think,
presenting and how I
yeah,
needed to look.
I think something I remembered when diving in to new churches too is that the people with the mansions don't get invited over to other people's houses.
Which is
And so,
also a terrible way of looking at things. They, of
yeah,
course, would
yeah,
love to be
yeah.
invited to someone's
So
home.
I have a heart for reaching out to the people who don't get invited over because they're just an established part of the community already. I feel like those don't get invited as much. So reaching past your comfort zone to the established people, I think, is a really good thing to do to keep building Christ's kingdom in the community, in the church
Well, and
itself.
what great people to offer wisdom into your life. Because when
Exactly.
you say established people, a lot of times they're older, they've
Mm-hmm.
wise
Yeah.
Christians
It's
who
been
would
so
have
delightful
so
to get to
much
know them. Yeah.
yeah, to say.
Yeah. On that note, another couple of rules of thumb for when you're diving in is just not to be offended by cancellations or postponements. It's one of the tricky things with Chris's schedule is I don't have his schedule past 4 weeks out, and he tends to work 2 weekends, 24 on Saturdays, which means he can't go to church on Sunday or one. So I've often felt pressure to be like, this is a Sunday we can make it work, and it's this Sunday, and I gotta invite people. And so getting discouraged by like, oops, can't make it for this Sunday. And I was like, well, I don't know what October will look like yet. Sorry.
Right.
But
Can't reschedule
trying,
very easily.
yeah, sometimes you feel just the pressure to like eke it out. Like, I got to make this one work. So having the rule of thumb, like not to be offended by can't make it or cancellations. And also, I kind of have in the back of my head, like 3 strikes, I'm out. Like, if I ask 3 different people and none of them can make it, we have a free Sunday. It's
You're
just
just
not
going to
worry about it.
enjoy a laid
Uh-huh.
back day.
I guess God wanted us to have a laid back Sunday. And there's a couple times I've gotten to asking the fourth person on my list, but just like not to stress about it. Like, okay, if that going to do it, I'll ask this one, and then I'll be done. Trying to fill that spot.
Sure.
So, yeah, just the encouragement to go and say hi and introduce yourself, and some other tips in there for diving in.
Mm-hmm. I think it is very good to remember that people are just people, and don't build
Yeah.
up in your mind all these differences, or that someone would not want to say yes, or that they're better than you in some way. And so that you
Hmm.
can't possibly, it's just forget all of that. We
Yeah.
are equal in Christ.
Hmm.
And if they are a part of your church, or if they're new to your church, or if they've been there for a long time, it's all fair game.
Just
Just
have a open
enjoy
hand.
getting to know those people. They are part of the body of Christ, and they are specifically a part of your church,
Yeah, let's have
your
just have an
church
open
body.
hand. And we love
Mm-hmm.
having our neighbors over too. That's been a really big blessing here with the house that we ended up getting here in Des Moines, is that we just have had awesome neighbors, and getting to
That's
have them over for
wonderful.
dinner too has been
Well,
really fun.
when you talk about the different commands in scripture, of course, one of them is hospitality, but the other is carrying each other's burdens. And how in the world are you to do that if you don't even know what they are, if you don't even know who your
Hmm.
neighbors are or know the people in your church?
Yeah.
How do you share each other's burdens? And so that command is there, and the outpouring of it is hospitality.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we're talking about ministering to someone or giving to someone,
Hmm.
of your time, you're sacrificing yourself. It's because you've learned about some burden that they have and you are
Hmm.
trying to help share it.
Yeah.
So we find out about those things
Or
oftentimes
or
when we're in
sharing your own
fellowship with each
burdens too,
other.
right?
Mm-hmm. Sure,
Does
absolutely.
anyone please have a box fan? Her basement has flooded again. That kind of thing.
Our ladies have a Facebook page, and actually, it's probably lots of different churches in our area, but
Yeah.
it's funny because you'll see those kinds of requests from the ladies,
Yeah.
something like in search of box
Yeah.
fan,
Yes.
or in search of this, or emergency request. And
Do you have a recommendation for?
great. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's
Uh-huh.
wonderful. It's such a wonderful
Yeah.
resource. A
And
lot.
another friend I met here, I was standing at our breakfast table, looked out the window. I was like, that looks like a homeschool mom. She was walking down the
That's a
sidewalk
compliment or not.
with a stroller and two kids on bikes. And I ran out of the house and said hi.
Yeah.
And she's been a fun friend to have,
And
and
she was
really
in
a
your
one.
neighborhood.
Yeah, she just lived up the street from us, and so we
Oh,
have got
that's
kids
so
the same
much
age.
fun. And
And
I'm guessing it's
yeah,
during a school day, which also kind of made her
kind
stand
of
out as a
kind
homeschool
of
mom because it's like she
clues
has,
you in.
yeah, kids that are school age. You know what is such a blessing? I mean, we look at our world today and there's so many things that people get worried about, but the homeschool communities are such a blessing in our community now. It is just so vibrant. And that actually made me think of a story from when my daughter in law, Serena, her dad was homeschooled when he was younger. I think he went to school later in his older boy years, but he and his brothers were homeschooled for a time, and they were out riding bikes in front of their house. And a police officer stopped and asked them why they weren't in school and thought they were just being ruffians who were skipping school. I don't remember if he went and talked to their mom or if he just believed them when they said that they were homeschooled.
Yeah,
But times have really changed. I
yeah,
remember that story just standing out because it was so odd for people to homeschool. Like you were weird
yes.
if you homeschooled. And there
Uh-huh.
wasn't a big homeschool community. It was just, a few moms who were trying to do
Where
it.
now for me it feels very much like there's a large culture of us that do it, and it's
Yes,
not
it's
not really a
wonderful.
biggie.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful that there are so many resources and so many moms who are doing it and can find that camaraderie and fellowship and
Yes.
encouragement from each
Mm-hmm.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So,
there we go. Those are some of my tips for diving in.
okay, I love it. Well, let's jump into some specifics. When
Okay.
you are having somebody for dinner or
Or
another meal, you can
whatever.
choose another meal or whatever.
Or dessert.
You have a theory on food about
Yes.
making a very well balanced dish and menu. So I specifically want to know from you what that is for you. What does that look like?
Yeah. So maybe to dive into that first, and then might explain some of the dishes I like to make. But
Okay.
any dish that you make needs to have a balance of the five flavors, right? Of the five tastes. So sweet and salty, bitter, sour, and that umami. If you can hit the balance in there, you have something that's like, it makes everything delightful, right? If you're missing salt, then you're missing the other flavors, that even like the herbs and stuff that are in there, they just can't come out and sing the way if
Right.
you've got things balanced in. So training your taste buds to like search out those different tastes and see if they're all present and accounted for in whatever you're
Okay.
making. And then what really makes something satisfying though, so that's how to make a dish tasty and yummy. But to make a dish like satisfying, you need the textural elements to be there and to be interesting. And that could be, I mean, a lot of different things, but generally you need some kind of crunch. Like a dessert really isn't satisfying and satiating if your teeth aren't snapping on something, right? If you're not like getting a crisp or a crack or like that's why nuts are on chocolate sundaes, right? Like you
Right.
because you got the creamy and the cold and you got the heat and the fudge element in there, but then you need something that is crispy, like the
Mhm.
nuts, right? So getting the textural element in there too, if it's ooey gooey and the crumb or the crunch or the nut. This is why like a mac and cheese, you know it's gone to the next level and somebody really cares if they put a crumb topping on top, right?
That's true. That's true.
It's what it's like that's kind of sets that dish apart as like, oh, okay, this is gonna have a bunch of different things in here that I'm gonna want to like eat. It gives your mind a break from it. So you want to come back around and enjoy the different elements of that texture again. But then I think to make a dish also stick with somebody, nostalgia has to be involved. Like some element of like speaks to their heart. This is why a kid wants a pie that has a dome on it. Like they don't want a flat pie. Or like you can have a Michelin star meal, but if you don't recognize any of that, it doesn't quite speak to the heart as much as something that is a little bit familiar but done excellently.
Right. That's actually one of Ina Garten's philosophies is the
Mm,
more important, not more important, but some of the people that she has maybe thought would be the hardest to have over, she'll try to make the most excellent comfort food. And
mm,
it's very surprising to them because they're used to people trying to impress them and come up with
right.
something very gourmet and
Yeah.
unique. And she'll put something out there that is so familiar, but done excellently.
Mm-hmm.
And it immediately, of course, makes people comfortable, but also gets people talking about, like, well, when I was a kid, my grandma
Yes.
made this. I haven't had this in years. It's so
Uh-huh.
delicious.
Right. Like the Ratatouille actually had something going on there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm like you mentioned, an
Yeah.
elevated mac and cheese or
Right.
a great Sunday roast, or,
Or a
I mean, there's just
burger,
so
like
many
pizza and
things.
burgers, like
Yeah.
nobody is goes away from a pizza and burger meal unsatisfied,
Mhm.
even if it's not the best pizza and burger. But it
Mhm.
like there's an element of familiarity to different foods. And I love to explore cultures via food. I love food tourism and I love trying the different things. But when I'm making something for somebody, I'm also trying to like pull in what can be familiar to them so they can also be comfortable.
Mhm.
That's what I would say is when I'm trying to think through a meal, balancing the textures, balancing the flavors. Like also like Thanksgiving's coming up. Put a dash of apple cider vinegar into your gravies, people. It makes it sing
Really?
so much better.
Apple cider vinegar
Just at the
into
end, a
gravy.
little dash at the end of but for your turkey
Okay.
gravy makes it
Hot
so
tip.
yummy. Yeah,
I will have to
it brings
remember
the
this.
sweetness and the salty out. It brings out the herb flavors that you've packed in there. But like, where else do you get the tang if you're not like adding that in intentionally? So
Okay. I
yeah,
just made a huge crock pot roast and gravy and mashed
hmm
potatoes. I mean, the classic Sunday
yeah,
lunch. And I did not do a splash of
vinegar,
apple
right?
cider
Or
vinegar.
lemon juice,
So
or like I love apple
I'll
cider
have to
vinegar. It's
remember
an
that
easy
for
one.
next time. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never done that before.
and try
Interesting.
adding that. I've had multiple Thanksgivings now where somebody's like, "Who can make the gravy?" I'm like, "Pick me! I love the gravy. That's my
I want
favorite
to do
part.
it.
I love the sauce."
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Before we move forward, a big thank you to the sponsors for supporting today's episode. Have you ever thought about how much science is involved in cooking? Chemistry, physics, and biology are at play all over your kitchen, on the cutting board, in the mixing bowl, on the stovetop, and in the oven. Inquisicook is on a mission to show students that science can be relevant, fascinating, and delicious, all while teaching an essential life skill. Inquisicook begins with the basics of food science and culinary arts, then adds skills and concepts in a carefully crafted sequence that leads to proficiency. Best of all, the principles can be applied to any cuisine, any available foods, and any dietary restrictions. So when it's time for people to come over for dinner, the options are endless. Visit inquisicook.com to view sample lessons, then check out the recipe gallery to see just how crave-worthy science can be. Okay, so what would be a menu that you would serve? I mean, you've
So,
mentioned mac and cheese and things, but is that a part
yeah,
of your menu or
I
are you
make,
just using that as an
no,
example?
an example. I make pizza a lot,
Okay. Pizza
mostly
is a
because
classic and kids
mostly because
love
I
it.
love the
And you can,
leftovers. Yeah.
with pizza,
Speaking
it's
of
something that
tang,
you can
yeah,
modify so easily for different
yes.
guests and ages.
And as for tang in that, one of our favorites we come back to in the fall is like the Wrigley's pizza that we got inspired from the Moscow one. I can't remember his name right now. But it's a sauerkraut pizza.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the pizza place in Lewiston, isn't it?
No, it's in Moscow. It's
It's
okay.
Moscow.
Gambino's. Anyway,
Gambino's. Okay, I have
the
not tried
mustard
this.
based sauerkraut sausage and a ton of really great cheese.
I'm
And
going to
it's
have to try
amazing.
this.
Yeah, it's wonderful, especially for the fall. But it gives you the tang and the chewiness and then just the creamy in there too. It's a really fun pizza. And that's more of an adult one. But as far as pizzas go, my one tip is a mixture of cheeses. I think Alan Brown I got this from, but like provolone, Monterey Jack, and mozzarella really help to like bring in the various flavors of your cheeses.
Do you shred yours fresh?
I tend to.
Mhm.
No,
Or do you buy them all shredded just for
I don't.
ease? Do you notice that it matters?
I used to swear by whole milk mozzarella. It's still really yummy, but these days with 5 kids, I bought the mozzarella pre-shredded, and have the kids help me shred the other ones, the
Yeah.
provolone and the Monterey. Although I think somebody on here recommended the Costco cheeses, so I'll have to check those out.
Okay. Yeah.
The meal I've made a bunch for us that I was going to share today is Asian lettuce wraps.
That sounds amazing.
We love those. I've made them for years for our family because Chris and I love to order them when we went out to like South Fork. And so making them here at home has been kind of our staple. I tried it out on company this summer and we really enjoyed it. Partly because it was just company with like adults. It wasn't with kids. And so it was very fun and interactive and people could choose their own thing. And it was a small enough group that you could really like converse over the meal and gather around all the different elements and pass them easily. So I don't know if it would translate as well. Maybe if you're doing like a buffet style, it would be okay for a larger group. But it's so versatile. And you have your bib lettuce, you have your protein, and done shrimp. I've done like Vietnamese meatballs or ground chicken or whatever. If you're doing the ground chicken or the Vietnamese meatballs, you have a lot of ginger and garlic in there, fish sauce, that kind of thing. Your protein out, and then rice or rice noodles, and then veggies sliced up, and your different sauces. I love the peanut sauce or the yum yum like mayonnaise, tangy sauce. We did a Vietnamese lime fish sauce that was really good, or just a Thai sweet chili sauce. So it's just lots of different fun ones, and everybody wants to like try different variations of it. And everything is done ahead of time. I just pull it out of the fridge, out on platters, and put it on the table.
Are you
So it
able to
was
buy all of these sauces or do you make them all?
the Thai sweet chili one is when I buy. The others I make.
Okay. And I
Yeah,
guess this is all in your recipe. I cannot wait to get this recipe from you and try this. It sounds
it's really fun.
amazing. I'm going to
And
post
again,
this.
and it has again, you have got the crunchy, and you got the creamy in there, you got some
Hmm.
chew, and it's all sorts of fun tang. And so that was just a really delightful summer meal to get to pull out. And also, you don't have to think about sides. You've
Yeah, it's a
got the
complete
vegetable.
meal.
Yeah,
Right.
I
It's your
think I served
protein, your
focaccia
vegetable.
alongside because that's something I'm familiar with, and I feel like a guy wants
Sure.
a starch. But yeah, that one was really great for the company, primarily because it was all done ahead of time. I loved that.
Well, we will post this on comeoverfordinner.com. So if you want to try an Asian lettuce wrap and other things that we mention, you can go there and you'll be able to find it and print it so that you can try it in your own
There you
kitchen.
go. I hope I can find the recipes for you. I do so much of it winging it.
Oh dear. You're going to have to
Yeah.
make it and make notes as you
Yep,
go.
I will. I will have to do that. Okay, so a dessert I bring out pretty often because we just love it. And this one is super easy. And then I'll tell you about my theory applied to like my cakes. But this dessert is just a salted caramel ice cream. And pick whatever one's in your area. For us, it's the Blue Bunny and it's delightful. And then make a chocolate shell, which is chocolate chips and coconut oil microwaved together. And you drizzle that on top of your salted caramel ice cream and you top it with crumbled up, crunched up ice cream cones or pretzels.
That's a great
It's
idea.
so yummy and everyone just loves it.
Pretzels give it a salty
Yeah, uh-huh.
element.
Uh-huh. Exactly. You get the salt and the caramel and the creaminess, but then also cracking into that chocolate shell is so satisfying.
Gotta have some chocolate.
Right?
What is
Exactly.
a
And
meal without chocolate
what
at
is
the
it
end?
without chocolate? And the
I'm
chocolate
kidding.
shell is so fun.
I do love chocolate though.
Right? So, or use a chocolate shell for your kids' ice creams. It makes them feel really special.
Hmm. Dairy Queen was a big thing where I was from in
Yes.
the South. I know they have some Dairy Queens in other parts of the country too,
Uh-huh.
but it was pretty big down
The
south.
dipped
And
one.
the dipped cone was
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
And they
So
they
it feels
always
really
had
special.
the little shell, but there were other things that you could get that had that. Like when I was growing up, there was the dilly bar,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I'm sure it was just vanilla ice cream with the chocolate coating on the
Just,
outside.
just
That's
shaped a
literally
little
all it
differently.
was.
Yes.
For the
Yep.
Buster bar, where instead
Okay.
of a peanut buster parfait, which is the layers of vanilla ice cream and hot fudge and nuts,
Okay.
it was basically in a bar
Okay.
where you had, again, vanilla and it was
Uh-huh.
coated in chocolate with peanuts.
Right. Right. And so delightfully satisfying
But
because
it
you've
is
got
so
the crunch
delightful.
in there.
Yes,
Also,
absolutely.
with the chocolate shell, a kid really feels loved if you give them just plain vanilla and sprinkles with the chocolate shell.
Sprinkles make everything
They do for a
amazing.
kid. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's funny how much that is like delightful and satisfying and says, I love you to them. Like a kid wants a colorful sprinkle.
Yes, they do. Tell me about your cakes since you
Okay.
are most well known for your cakes. Even though
Yeah.
you might do an ice cream to make it very easy and simple, I want to
Hmm.
hear about your cakes.
So I make a, is it 7 layers? I think it's 7 layer. I make a 7 layer slab cake, like sheet pan cake for potluck every month for our church.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. Most of the time. And sometimes I vary it up
Well,
with some other
being on a
dessert.
sheet pan would make it a lot simpler than making a 7 layer round cake.
Exactly. And it feeds like 30 to 40.
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay. This is inspired from Christina Tosi's Milk Bar, All About Cakes book. So I've used her formula and I've made her recipes a bunch, but then because it's a formula, it's really easy to apply to other flavors. So the one that I love and come back to, especially for my Mother's Day treat, my Mother's Day treat to me and to the other church ladies, is my version of her cake, but inspired by the Tartine cookbook. So it's a
Hmm.
lemon caramel layer cake.
It's amazing.
It's wonderful. So you bite into this fluffy layer of lemon cake and lemon frosting, but then you get the crunchy, like almost cookie-ish but salty milk crumb from Christina Tosi's book. It just kind of balances that out and makes it interesting. And then you go down the next layer and you get this rich, toasty caramel layer, another layer of the milk crumb, and then a lemon cream, also from the Tartine book. So it's like a creamier, stabler version of a curd because you melt the butter in with an immersion blender and then the cake again. So you just get this amazing sequence as you bite through it and enjoy the different textures. And then you're like, whoa, what did I just do? I've got to go and do that again. So it keeps
Give
you
me another
coming.
piece.
Yeah, it keeps you going around and around because a cake can, if it's just frosting and cake, Like I'm here for the
It's not as
frosting and I'm
interesting.
done, right? And most of the kids are too. But with this formula for her cakes, she has your sheet cake. You do a drench with it, like some kind of liquid to seal it in and make it moist. And for this cake, it's a lemon juice one. And then you add in like those fun tangy and then salt caramely layers. And then that crumb in there just makes it such a delightful cake. I love it so much.
A
But
perfect
we
cake.
Yeah, it is. But you can also she has a couple others in her cookbook that I strawberry cheesecake or German chocolate, but they all use that same like cake, soak, filling, crumb, filling, cake, frosting, crumb. So,
Okay.
so
Interesting.
what,
That's a
yeah,
good one to check out to do a cookbook club. Well, of course, I
if
guess
you
you
wanted to
have
eat
to
all cake,
all dessert. Never mind. Maybe I'll just check
cookies,
it out from the
all about
library.
cookies and all about cake. It'd be great.
Yeah,
Um,
it would be hard to taste test like 8 different
yeah,
cakes all in one night,
yeah,
actually.
I bet you could do it though.
I bet I
Um,
could. Sign me
so,
up, actually.
right.
Anybody that wants to do it, I'll come.
So the way I've broken it down, because doing that many layers with a bunch of kids is a lot of work,
Hmm.
but I break it down and freeze everything. So like Wednesday, I make the cake. And honestly, I just do a box mix. At
Hmm.
this stage in my life, I'm a box mix person. And that means something easy that the little kids can break the eggs into and have a fun time. And I'm not stressed about getting things right because I know a
Yeah, they're
box mix will
helping
turn out.
you.
Yeah. I think it takes about a box and a half to make the large sheet that I do. And that comes out and I soak it with lemon juice. I use a vanilla cake mix, soak it with lemon juice and freeze it. And then let's say Thursday, I make like the lemon cream. It's like a curd again, but more stable. And then maybe I make the milk crumb that will go in between layers and that goes in the fridge. And then Friday, maybe I do the caramel and the frosting. And then the next day or that day, if I've got the time, I can assemble it and freeze it. And then I pull it out on Sunday. So it's very like staged and staggered. So it's not overwhelming. And it's an impressive cake to bring out. People really enjoy it.
Go up to fellowship meal or whatever you call it at your church and go to dessert first.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
The
that's
problem is
really
they always
great.
ask me what to call the different desserts I come up with. And I'm like, I don't know. This one's inspired by a lemon bar.
So you
Okay.
make different versions, I guess. This is your favorite, but you've made all the different
Uh-huh.
versions.
There's a really yummy like mint Oreo version that's delightful to come back to, and especially March because it has some green coloring in it. And
Hmm.
a s'mores one I've made before in August, and yeah, it's fun because so you think through the theory of like, okay, what's going to be my crunch? What's
Hmm.
going to be my two fun layers, and how are they going to
Hmm.
balance with each other? And what's the
Yeah.
frosting on top?
Yeah. So you can use that formula and kind of create your own
Hmm.
favorites. That's
Yes, and then
great.
this is important, I think, if you're making a large sheet cake version of this for people. When I am assembling everything, I put on half of my sheet cake, and this is a sheet cake that is frozen, and that's important because I layer half of it with the cream, the lemon cream, and the crumb and the caramel, and then I slice it in half, and I can just put that top layer on top of that.
That
It's
makes sense.
frozen, so it's easy
Hmm.
to move.
Hmm.
And then I put the frosting on top of that and the crumb on top of that.
Hmm.
And baking it all at once in the sheet pan makes it so much more manageable. And then having it frozen means that you can transport it, you can move that top layer without it breaking, and it makes it much easier.
Hmm. Oh, this sounds like a very fun dessert to try. That'll have to go on my list next.
Yay. It's a good one.
Do you have any extra shortcuts or time savers that you would add? I know you've mentioned some things like freezing your cake and making the Asian lettuce wraps, all the things ahead of time. Do you have any other shortcuts or time savers you would add, or have we gone through them all?
I think one I would add, and this isn't for the cake, just cooking in general. I love my seasoning blends. I use them a lot. Like the Trader Joe's umami one just saved my
So
soup this
good.
evening. It's so
Hmm.
good. It's so helpful. It's such a great blend. I know blends of seasonings tend to go in people's cupboards to die, but I really love them.
Hmm.
And taste them and figure out where you want to use them. Or that, what is it? Better than bone. Those sticks that are supposed to be like bone broth.
It's not better than bouillon because that's not a stick.
No.
It's like a cream.
Anyway, it's like blue and white. That's a seasoning mix that I love to like amplify a pasta dish or something that's needed. So those spices and seasonings that you can get as mixtures, I just think they're super helpful.
Yeah.
This one,
Oh, instant bone
it's bone
broth.
broth, bare
Bare
bones.
bones. Where do you buy
Hmm.
it?
I got this one at Costco. It's also on Amazon.
And it's in little packets.
Yep, they're little tiny little packets of them. And
So that gives you
I
umami.
wasn't, yeah, it does. I wasn't impressed with them as on their own for just a sipping. I needed
Hmm.
some more stuff in there. But there's mushroom powder in there. There's apple cider vinegar powder, turmeric and spices and onion powder and carrot powder, and then all the collagen and bone broth in there. So those are really yummy if you're needing your soup or your pasta dish. And it's just like, this lacks luster, this lacks flavor. So it
Needs some
needs,
flavor. So pour,
mm-hmm.
how many do you use, like say in a soup? Would you pour one or do you use a
um,
lot of them?
maybe one or two.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a
those
good
are
idea.
those are great time savers if you get used to your different explore or experiment with, get used to some different like powerhouse flavor blends can really help you as you taste your way to success with a dish.
Yes. Yes. I use that
Yeah.
mushroom blend that's kind of an umami flavor. It might even be called mushroom
Mm-hmm.
umami from Trader Joe's. I really think it's like a dollar ninety
Yes.
nine. I use
It's so
it when
cheap.
I make
It's
it's so
great.
cheap. Their spices are so cheap. If you ever, I know a lot of times people are like, well, I don't have
I
a
get
Trader
my
Joe's.
cinnamon from them. I live a distance from them, but I just go for the spice aisle
Hmm.
and I stock up.
I
I
try
love
to
their
go to
sofrito
one
one.
whenever I'm traveling.
Yeah.
And with spices, you can carry them on in your luggage. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to check a bag because they're not liquid. So you
Mhm.
can, if you're anywhere traveling near a Trader Joe's, you can go and you can actually buy them and put them in your suitcase.
Yes. Uh-huh.
How do I know this? I don't know. I don't speak from experience or anything.
Yep.
But I
Yep.
use that mushroom one when I'm making my own cream of soup. Like instead of
Okay.
using a can of cream of mushroom,
Yeah.
I make my own cream of, not every time, but a lot of times. And I'll put that seasoning in there
Hmm.
and it gives it just the perfect flavor. It's so delicious.
Yeah. It's a really versatile one. I think that really helps knock things out of the park.
Hmm. This story popped into my head, so I'm going to throw it in there. I
Go
have
ahead.
this really funny travel story.
Okay.
Speaking of funny things that you carry through airports, I usually carry my own food, not always, but usually have some kind of little food bag. And I last time was really kind of nervous because I thought, I just wonder if they're going to pull me aside and ask me,
Did you
what
have a
is this bag
premonition?
of white powder?
Okay.
Because I made all these ingredients for these perfect chocolate chip cookies, and it was
Oh,
shepherd's grain flour. It's a
okay.
specific flour. It was an all purpose, but it's a higher quality, all purpose flour. And I had chocolate from Trader Joe's that I was going to chop up, and I had salt in a bag, Malden sea
You
salt
know what you really need to
that you
do is
would
just wrap it
sprinkle
all
on
in a
top. Like all of these ingredients separate don't look real great. But they let me ride on through because I
Okay.
mean, I had labeled everything, and I guess it,
Oh,
it
good.
really truly did look like cookie ingredients
You ought to
versus
have packed
drugs
your
or
apron
something.
along too. Really
Yes.
be the traveling Betty Crocker.
But it was funny. Okay, so that went right through. That was no big deal. That was actually the time I traveled 2 times ago. The last time I traveled, my bag beeps. Literally every bag I had beeped, and I had no idea why. It was pulled aside. And
Okay.
usually the food bag always is because they have to check, swab it for whatever they swab it for. So I was a little bit at a loss, and I did not know why multiple things had been pulled over to the side. So my main suitcase that literally had nothing in it, just clothes and things, the guy unzipped and he was looking through it and he said, "Ma'am, did you bring any tools along?" like, no, I don't have any tools. And I don't know if they have a secret button or what. But all of a sudden, he's rummaging and he's asking me some questions. And I notice like three or four different security men walking towards him and me.
Oh
I was just like, what is happening? Like, how did they get this signal? But it's like they're all descending on the
no.
guy who's
Okay.
checking my suitcase. And he pulls up a wrapped present. And he said, is this a gift? Of course it is. Wrapped present.
Boy, you
What
must
is
have been
it?
looking really intimidating in the
Yeah.
TSA.
It's like, I'm going to have to unwrap it. Like, okay. And I hadn't forgotten what it was. It was just that I had wrapped it so long ago and had just pushed it off to the side. It was for my daughter. I had one for my daughter and one for my daughter in law. And when I was packing, just threw presents in there, put clothes, didn't think a thing about it. And right as he's going to unwrap it, you can see what it is on the scanner on the x ray machine. I don't think he had fully unwrapped it. Maybe he did. Anyway, one of the security guys that had come up behind him said, I know what that is. That's a garlic press. And he looked at me, he said, that's a garlic press, isn't it? It's like, oh, yeah, yeah, I have two of them in there. He was so proud of himself because he recognized, he's like, oh, she's fine. She's fine. I know it. I know what that is. That's a garlic press. And I was literally about to get tackled over my garlic presses. Presents for my girls in the South.
Oh,
It was
man.
just, yeah, it's
Teach you
like,
to
oh,
Amazon things to them next time.
yeah. I'm like, I should have just sent these straight to my daughter's
I love,
house and told
I
her,
love
don't
how he
open the
was like, wait,
package.
I got this. I know that
Like,
this
I'm
thing
fixing to
is.
get tackled over garlic presses, but nobody looks at the white powder and the rock salt going through the time
Yeah,
before.
yeah, there you
The
go.
weird things I have carried traveling. I do carry weird, and they always have to do with food. Do you have a prep tip that you'd want to share with us for when you have people coming to your home?
Okay, so two of them. First, I've learned the long, hard way, laboriously over time, after having a couple of babies, that I can't carve anything when people are here. Like, I just cannot plan that into my service or when people get here. It may not be a part of like, and I will shred the pork or and I will carve
Right.
the roast chicken. Because
No.
no, it just doesn't work. Because like I never see a company meal the same way twice, but it's always just a different makeup of people. We have kind of a small space and it's always like, who's going to sit where? And so I'm always trying to like figure out seating and then these people need water. And inevitably my husband has to go take somebody off to the back bedroom to deal with them, to deal with the toddler. So he's not available to cut the ham or shred the whatever either. So trying to do that on top of the other things has just been the stressor that's like as much as economical as a roast chicken is or the pork shoulder is. I just have to plan into my time that that gets done before
Mhm.
people come. And then I think one other tip I would add is like keep a whiteboard marker in your kitchen or whatever else you need to be able to write down for yourself what you're trying to serve. Something always gets left in the fridge otherwise. That's happened to me so many times. But if I, and a whiteboard marker, you can write on your refrigerator if it's like one of those glass
Yeah.
ones, not one of the rough ones, or on your microwave. I also use the whiteboard marker when I'm getting ready for like potluck and I have multiple things I'm needing to remember to bring or to whoever. And I write it on the glass of the back door before, as I go in and out to the car. So I'm like, so I can see it in front of me. So if you're not up for like timelining everything that you want to make, at least write down what you're trying to serve, which is also great if you're going into triage. You're like, I can't get this all done. Well, my list is getting ejected,
Right.
ejected here. Like it helps you just mentally wrap your head around what's going on, what you need to do.
That's a good idea. I've never heard of that before, using a whiteboard marker, because then you can easily cross things off and just
Mm-hmm.
erase it later.
Yep. Or if you keep things in like mason jars, you can write on the mason jar
Hmm.
what is in that and not forget about it for later. So the whiteboard marker is really handy. I love having that in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's great. And I guess you're using dry erase instead of wet erase.
Is there such thing as a wet erase?
There is the wet erase.
So no, I guess I use the dry.
The dry erase goes really well with just a paper towel or something, but the
Yeah.
wet erase, I think you have to wet it to get it's
Okay.
a little more on there. Somebody
Okay.
was mentioning it as a tip. I don't know if the episode's aired yet, but they were mentioning it as a tip that they use sometimes on glasses.
Okay. I
Um,
think that's like a
and they're,
Sharpie and you have to have like alcohol to get it off. I think I remember this tip.
I think on a
Not
wet
like
erase,
rubbing
it's
it.
just water. It's not
Yes.
rubbing alcohol.
Yeah. I think it was a Sharpie though, if you're using a Sharpie to write names on glasses.
Oh,
I think
that's
she
right. I
said
do.
rubbing alcohol needed it.
Okay, so that would be something to test. Please
Yeah,
test it
test
before you
that
do all your
one.
glasses.
Yeah, so I
I'll have to
stick with
try it.
the whiteboard marker
Hmm.
for on the glass.
Yeah, that's a great idea. What about your best advice? Do you have any good advice for making people feel welcome when they enter your home?
Yeah, so we talked about just making people feel comfortable, right? And I think that goes back to like what's your goal with having these people over? Like you're trying to build community, get to know them. So like try to be present for that
Hmm.
and do what you need to do with your kitchen and thinking ahead of time so that you can be there to welcome them and greet them and make them feel comfortable with conversation. And if you can't be, like if you're hosting Thanksgiving or hosting a baby shower, then farm that out. Designate somebody to be your Mary while you be the Martha.
Hmm.
That's a legitimate job that needs to be factored in if you're going to be busy in the kitchen, which is totally fine.
Sure.
Having somebody who can be that, if it's your kids or if you're having multiple families over and somebody you know better and you're like, hey, I need you to help make these people feel comfortable. Or I love doing that at a baby shower. It's like to my mother-in-law, can you please be the greeter who tells people where to put their coats and where the
Hmm.
bathroom is and here's where to sit down and here are drinks. Having that to make people really feel comfortable, I think, is so
Hmm.
they know what they're doing and what's going on. They just don't walk into a house like, what do I do here?
Hmm. And even if you're saying a quick hello and disappear because you need to finish something,
Uh-huh.
they don't feel just kind of lost standing there waiting.
Right. So just trying to keep that in mind with when you're hosting. So I think that's
Hmm.
a good thing to make people feel comfortable. And then if you're doing it frequently, you have post game analysis with your husband, right? Afterwards and talk through how you could do things differently and how you could make things more comfortable or what you could do differently in the kitchen so that you can be present. So
Hmm.
use your husband to like talk through how you can improve.
Yeah, for sure. Very good. Do you have a must have kitchen item? I know you do. Tell us about it and where can we find it?
I had quite a few. I was trying to like narrow down here, and so many people have said great ones too. Like whoever said honing your taste buds, I wanted to just give an amen to that.
Your taste buds are your best kitchen item.
Yeah, yeah. But I realized one thing that I have to have, and like when we lived in Airbnbs for a while, I was really desperate if I didn't have this, was the right spatula. The
That is
right,
a good point.
right.
What is
Oh,
your favorite spatula?
it's so
I wonder if we'll
irritating.
agree.
Okay, I hate the rounded all the way ones. I have to have a square corner.
Okay. I have to have
So
a really thin one.
I like one that's small for jars and one
Hmm.
that's larger for my Bosch, but the one that is like a square edge and then a rounded one so that you can get the different angles. Ones that are just rounded, just a scoop, I threw that one away. I was just so irritated by
You're kind
it.
of talking about silicone type spatulas for
Don't,
stirring and
yes, that's another
bowls and
important
all
thing. It
that.
has to be the softer silica ones. I do not want a hard one.
Okay. No, I know
It's,
what you're talking about. I do love
it's,
those. I
it's
was
no,
thinking more
well,
of
what do
like a
you call
spatula
them?
for pancakes.
Oh no,
No, I
yeah.
think
What
they
would you
are
call
called
those?
spatulas. I think
I
they
call them a
are. I
spatula.
think they are too.
Or some
Which
people
is
might
kind
call
of
them like a rubber
confusing.
spoon
Maybe.
if you're in Canada. I don't know.
I think I've just heard them called silicone spatulas. I'll have
Okay.
to look it up.
You scrape out a bowl. Every time you're in the
Hmm.
kitchen, you're scraping out a bowl.
You
My
need
mom
those.
was always like, you scrape everything out of the bowl.
No
we
waste.
we worked on this and nothing gets left behind. So
Right.
I want a spatula that can do that without extra hand motions, if
Do
that
you
makes
have a
sense.
favorite brand?
I got two replacement ones. There was because that shape is that softness and the shape was what was important to me. I had to replace one because I cut my other
Hmm.
one. And then I
Oh.
recently got one 2 years ago, and I love it so much because it's more of it's like a square,
Uh-huh.
but it's round, a little bit round on the points,
Yes.
and it's scooped.
I know
So
what you're talking about. It's not OXO, is it? OXO,
I,
is it white and
I
black?
don't,
Black handle and white on
mine,
top?
mine is a black silicone. It comes in different colors with a wood handle.
Okay.
Um,
I
but
don't have that
so
one.
it's more like a scoop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I can cook with it, I can scoop with it, I can serve with it, and I can scrape out the pan with it.
Yeah.
So I
It's
grab
just
that
a
one every single
jack
time.
of all trades.
Yes. Yeah. So I
Well, you'll have
really,
to send me a picture
the
or the
Amazon
brand or
link for that one.
something,
Yeah.
Amazon link for sure, and I'll post it on the shop page so we can
Okay.
see what you're talking about. That
Yes.
sounds great.
I also really like the mat I stand on in the kitchen. If
Those are
somebody has it,
so important.
it's so
I did
helpful.
not know how important until I got out of
That
my 20s
that is a great
and
gift to give
30s.
somebody.
It
Just
is because your legs, your joints will just ache after a while.
yeah,
My
they
legs and
do.
back would ache, and I went and I didn't know why, like all of a sudden. And I, of course, was on hard floors
Yeah.
for hours. And once I got those mats, and it does not have to be the super expensive. I know there
Nope,
are
they
super
do. You
expensive
don't.
gel
They're
mats.
they're like 20 to 30, depending how
Yeah,
big you
you
want it.
can get them at Costco. You can get them at Sam's Club. I
And
recently
Amazon,
bought,
it's fabulous.
yeah, the Sam's Club ones that I bought, I think they were less than $20, maybe 12 or 13. And I love them. That's what I have.
Yeah.
But I went to Costco recently and they had longer ones and they were
Mm,
maybe 17, but
okay.
you could get by. I mean, it was nicer because they were longer. You
Yeah.
you could get like say two for your kitchen. I have three of the other ones.
Okay.
But tell me what you have.
It's just something from Amazon. I don't remember what it was. It
Yeah.
kind of matches my floor, so it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
stand out too much because I've got kind of a small kitchen. So it just, I kind of whip it between the sink or my prep area, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really handy. Just don't stand on them in heels.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Or try to put a chair or a stool on them and climb. You might poke a hole in them.
Yeah, yeah. I have a couple holes in there. So
Yeah. But they easily wipe down.
yeah.
When I clean my kitchen floors, kind of deep clean my kitchen floors, I will take them out and literally hose them down.
Oh,
Just
I
take
need
a
to do that.
washcloth and scrub them and hose them down and let them
Yeah,
prop
that's a
up
good idea.
somewhere and air dry. I've had mine for years and they're from Sam's Club. They are not
Okay.
the super expensive
Yeah.
pro ones, which, I'm sure I would love too, but you can
Yeah.
go cheap and they are life changing.
They're just helpful. Yeah. Makes
Mm-hmm.
makes you less tired at the end of the day. That's worth it.
Yes, less fatigue, less pain.
Hmm.
Nothing hurts.
Yes. Uh-huh.
If I can say that at my age, I'm not, I'm getting up there, people. I'm starting to feel the aches and pains.
She doesn't look it though.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm a grandma of 7 now. It is so exciting. And so it's
Yay.
just so fun. But yes, to all of a sudden be a grandma of 7 is just
Okay.
wild. They're all 3 and under. So it's
Oh
not like
man.
it's really been years and years and years, but it's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Oh yeah. And it just
So,
ramps up too.
yes, absolutely. They grow fast
Exponentially.
exponentially. So, any tips and tricks to stay out of pain and keep going and keep
Yes.
strong and active? I'm all
Hmm.
for them. All right. Well, tell us your best story. Do you have, from all of your years of hospitality, a funny story? Anything happen in the
Okay.
kitchen or with company?
So this happened almost 2 years ago. Yeah. As Alice was a baby. My husband was doing one of the Saturday 24-hour shifts. And so I had my two neighbors over across the street beside me. And they're single ladies and 45, 85, around about there. So I was having them over for dinner with the kids. The kids love them. I was probably making something that was not at all nostalgic for them and should have gone away from the Persian cuckoo sabzi stuff. But I was making meatballs, and everything takes like triple the amount of time when you've got 4 little people. Um,
Absolutely. Yes.
and so I was feeling,
Especially if they want to help.
oh man, or there's diapers or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they go play out in the mud and come back inside, stuff like that. Everything takes triple the amount of time. So I was kind of feeling a little bit pinched. So I take everyone downstairs to go watch a movie while I finish making the meatballs and stuff. And I realized that our our 5 foot boa constrictor is not in her tank.
That's a problem.
I called Chris, like, Chris, I can't find Anne. He named the snake Anne. What do I do? I have Miss Grover and Mrs. Brienne coming over in a few minutes. Like, what? Like, you can't come, but like, what am I supposed to
SOS.
do? He's like, well, you gotta find her. I find her finally. She's behind the deep freezer. It's a nice warm place for her. I text him like, do I have to pick her up? I'm fine with this day. I don't really want to hold her. He's like, yeah, sorry. We don't want her to get in the walls of the basement.
That's true. You might never get her back.
Yeah.
Or she
So
might pop out at the most unexpected time.
I was like, I can't have her popping out with these 2 ladies coming over for dinner.
Drop down and start
Oh,
coiling.
man. Yeah. That's a great way to get to know the neighbors that we just moved amongst. Anyway, as I figured I'd put on the gloves that he uses when he gives her food. And I put my hand in and I felt this like round thing at the end of the middle finger. I was like, oh no. Pull my hand out. Start squishing it. Like, oh. I look inside and it's a round ball with legs. There's a big fat spider. It's like, could I do anything more?
No.
It's like my worst nightmare is like put your hand into something and you feel a spider in there.
No. At least you had gloves on.
No, the glove had the spider.
Oh.
The spider was in the finger of the glove.
Inside the glove. I thought you put it on and you reached forward and felt.
No.
Okay, that's terrible.
It's terrible.
That's terrifying.
The spider inside of the glove. This is why I shake out all of my gloves ever since.
Hey, hot tip. If you wear kitchen gloves or gloves to wash dishes or anything like that, yes.
Yeah, it just might become a spider hotel. Anyway, the snake may get back into her tank, and Mrs. Brianna and Miss Grover didn't ever know about our exciting episode at a time. Made the dinner feel really easy peasy, no sweat.
When they finally arrived, did you kind of feel
did not tell them no.
You
did not
knew.
tell them we had a 5 foot boa loose in the basement.
You knew better than to alert them to the snake in the basement.
Yes. Okay, so I have one more to share because this was also about the same time, and you can tell the pinch of just having had a baby with 3 other little boys. What are they? 4, 5? No, they were 4, 2, and 1 or something. What were they? 2, 3, and 5. There we go. So I have 5
and 5. Wow.
Yeah, 5, 3, 2, and a baby. Anyway, it was the first day all week. It was Thursday that Chris had made it home for dinner. It's just been a long week. And I was really excited for him to be home for dinner. I was trying to get everything on and I came in from the kitchen with the bib and I was trying to ask him to bring the baby's high chair to the table. And I'm just stammering as I'm asking him. It's just something is not computing. Mm-hmm. And I realized that I'm looking across the table at the person I thought I was trying to put the bib on. And I realized the person I'm putting the bib on has a real big neck.
Don't tell me you're putting it on your husband.
I was.
You were sleep deprived. He was probably standing there like, what is happening?
He was just sitting there real quiet being like, either she knows what she's doing and she's trying to be funny and it's funny, or she doesn't know and it's really funny. It turned out it was really funny.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Yeah. So
when you finally realized you're putting the bib on your husband, what did you do?
I had to go excuse myself to the bathroom. I was dying laughing. I had to go change.
Was there company there or was it just a family?
No, it was just a family dinner. Yeah.
Oh my, that's at least company wasn't present. That would have made it worse.
Oh, I don't know. It could have been extra funny.
That's true. It would be memorable. It'd be something you never forgot.
Yeah, there you go. So those are some
great stories.
Funny family
I'm sure
stories.
there are plenty of moms with young kids out there who can relate and probably have similar stories of something really crazy they've done in a sleep deprived moment.
Yeah.
Very relatable.
I don't know if I knew I was sleep deprived till then.
No, most of the time we don't recognize it in ourselves. Yep. We just keep putting one foot in front of another. That's what moms do and dads.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Lizzie, for coming on and sharing all of your tips and all of your thoughts on food and hospitality. I cannot wait to try so many of these recipes that you've mentioned. It's going to be a really fun thing to add to my rotation.
Yay. Well, thanks for having me. It was just a delight to get to talk with you.
Until next time, bye for now. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the show and leave a review. It helps new people be able to find the podcast. And if you enjoyed this conversation especially, be sure to share it with a friend. Thank you for your time.